When I was little and there were thunderstorms, I would sometimes be afraid of the loud rumbling noises. My grandpa used to tell me, "Don't be afraid. The sound is just Rip Van Winkle bowling." And then he would tell me the story of Rip Van Winkle. Rip Van Winkle was a man who lived many years ago. Like my grandpa, he liked to tell stories. The story goes that he was kindly to children, but also avoided hard work or anything he thought unpleasant. One day, he found a nice grassy place on a mountain and he fell fast asleep. But this was no ordinary nap. Rip Van Winkle slept for over 20 years. 20 years! Think of all the things that could be missed in a 20-year nap. I mean, I know I like to nap, but 20 years? As a matter of fact, the most important thing that Rip Van Winkle missed was the American Revolution. When he went up that mountain, he lived in a British colony. When he came back down 20 years later, he lived in the new United States. This is an old and famous story, but would you be surprised to know that it was a favorite of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? It is one that he told a lot. As a matter of fact, he told it to a huge crowd of Unitarian Universalists in 1966, over 50 years ago. He talked about the civil rights movement and urged all those who heard him to wake up, to not sleep through the big changes that were happening all around as Black people and their supporters worked to gain equal rights. He asked white people, in particular, not to be asleep and ignore injustice. He urged Unitarian Universalists to wake up. Well, in the last several years, a new set of leaders of color are sending the same message Dr. King sent 50 years ago. Wake up. Many of the injustices, much of the unfairness is still here, and there are some new injustices. Wake up. So I'm asking all of the Unitarian Universalists tuning in this morning to remember the words of Dr. King. Wake up to injustice. We are once again at a turning point in American history. And as King said back in 1966, as he concluded that speech to that group of Unitarian Universalists, "I have not despaired of the future. I believe firmly that we can solve this problem. I know that there are still difficult days ahead, and there are days of glorious opportunity. Let us wake up, show up, breathe, and continue to do so again and again and again."